Hey guys, it's Toby Morrison here, and I wanted to do a quick video on how to get started with recovery when you've been bedbound for a while, or you're coming out of a crash, or you've basically just been really struggling with your health and you don't know how to move forwards. So this comes up a lot, and I just want you to know that I've literally witnessed so many people who have been so severely ill and have gotten better over time. And so I just want to share that with you. I've just shared so many stories over the past kind of 10 years, but one in particular, Michelle from USA. She was in her 50s, she'd been sick for a very long time. She had some really hardships in her life, and basically she felt like she was dying. And she didn't leave her room apart from appointments for over 7 years. And the same lady, after about a year of working on what she was doing, and she actually ended up joining our recovery program and working with us online. And over a period of a year, she went from that to progressively getting better, to the point where she was driving herself to the beach and walking along the beach for the first time in over 20 years. Catching up with her friends that she hadn't seen for over 20 years, living fully independent again. The joy and the love in her life came back to life again. And so I just wanted to share that with you. And I remember seeing her from week 1 when she joined the program to about 3 to 6 months in, and it was like looking at a different person, And what I want to share with you about that is she actually didn't do anything magical. It wasn't like she took some special tablet or supplement, or went and saw some functional doctor that gave her some injections. No, yes, she tried all that stuff, but ultimately what really helped her the most was just little by little becomes a lot. And she had to start with the smallest amount. And one of the biggest breakthroughs that Michelle had was the fact that she literally had to start with the basics. And by basics for her, and what was appropriate for her at the time, was, okay, well, we know you can't walk that far, we know you can't go downstairs, we know that you're struggling to eat meals regularly. So what are the things that you can do? And so one of the things that we did was write a list of all the things that she could do, and that went from, I can sit up in bed for a couple of minutes at a time, or I can brush my teeth once a day, or I can go to the toilet once a day, or I can drink water and sip on it every single hour, or I can have a meal every 3 hours delivered to me. And eventually what happened was, over the weeks and months, that capacity built up. And eventually she was like, I can put on makeup. And so she put on makeup in her bed, even though she wasn't going anywhere, but she felt so great doing it. And so she shifted her whole entire way of doing things to be able to just do the things that she could do appropriately. And then, little movements, like we had a very light beginner movement program that she could follow. And that was really basic stuff that she could do in her bed. Light movements, flexion, extension of her hands, her arms, her shoulders, her legs. And she chose what was appropriate for her, and it was just amazing and so transformational. And so I want to give you 2 key points. The first key point is, you can't wait to get better. One of the biggest mistakes that she made, and so many people make, is that they think that they just need to keep resting, and then all of a sudden they think that they're just going to feel better to then be able to do things. This is so counterintuitive, but what actually needs to happen is, you actually can't wait to get better. You have to do things now in order to feel better later, okay? And the other thing that you need to be mindful of is, you just need to do what's appropriate. You don't need to overthink it, and this takes time to adjust, but you'll notice that it won't become such a problem. You won't be so afraid of doing things over a period of time when you just build up appropriately. And one of the things that you can say is like, all right, well, what's appropriate? If someone said to you, okay, go run for 2 minutes, that would be like, okay, that's stupid. Or go run for 20 minutes, stupid. But hey, do you reckon you could put your normal clothes on during the day Or do you think you could, get out of your PJs, put your normal clothes on and just wear normal clothes throughout the day? That's an activity. And it's also good because it's telling your brain that it's daytime. The other thing could be, do you think you could get to the couch and rather than lay in bed all day, lay on the couch some of the day? Or, do you think that you could have one meal per day at the dinner table? Or do you think you could just sit up for longer in your bed? Whatever is appropriate, but try and do it from a place of enjoyment. And it's going to be hard enjoyment to start with. It's not going to feel easy, it's not going to feel comfortable, but we want to try and enjoy it, okay? Because if we're doing anything from a place of force or non-enjoyment, we're going to just loathe it, hate it, not look forward to it, and that's going to create more stress. We don't need that. We need the opposite of that. So just a couple of reminders there. And the last thing I want to say is I'm not saying push yourself. I'm saying do activities within your capacity, even though it might feel hard to start with. Now that doesn't mean go push yourself and do what's not appropriate. And this is why you need to, try and do things to start with. But sitting up out of bed is going to be a good start. Doing the bare minimum things first and ticking them off, going, oh, I can actually do that. Yeah, it was hard, but anything's hard when we get started with it, right? It doesn't matter whether you're well or not well. When we do new things, it's hard. But as we do it more regularly, it gets easier. And I just wanted to share that with you. I just wanted to share that story with you about Michelle. Someone in their 50s, close to 60. Most people think that you can't get better when you're that old, but that's not true. This lady had more complexity, more health issues than I'd ever seen on a piece of paper in my life, and that's not lying. And she'd seen some of the best doctors in the world. She'd gone to Stanford University, she did all that. And some of that was helpful for her, but the biggest game changer that she said that worked for her was doing the basics and having a holistic approach with her sleep, with her routine, with her structure, with her movement, with her mindset, and with her progression. And so, take that as hope. Take that as hope, because it's pretty damn powerful what can happen and what the body is capable of when we put it in the right environment and do the right things. But the biggest takeaway I want you to take away from this video is do not wait to get better. Start doing now to feel better later. And like I said before, do what's appropriate, stay within your limits. When you've been sick for so long, sometimes you don't know your limits. And so this is why, you just need to try and do things, but also at an appropriate level, and see how they feel for you. Try the hat on, so to speak, and then take the hat off and have a rest. And it is a fine balance, but once you find that sweet spot, the trajectory of recovery starts to go in an upward direction, and it's a really great feeling. I see this all the time inside our program. Michelle was one of the biggest stories that we had, who, like I said, she had like a full page of problems, half the problems I'd never even heard of in my life. She was grey, she'd lost hope, and she was just struggling. And so she reached out for support, she got the right help, she got the right appropriate advice, and she started to do little by little, which became a lot over time. And she was someone who just took the pleasure out of just looking out of the window, took the pleasure out of putting makeup on her face, and just for the sake of it and feeling better and looking better, even if it was just for herself. Finding joy just playing music in the background and just closing her eyes and really resting deeply. All those kind of things really helped her. So I really hope this gives you some help along the way, but also hope it really fuels you with some hope and some inspiration for you to take that on in your own life and in your own journey. If you are really struggling, you feel like you need a plan, you need some help, you need some direction, you need some help helping yourself, we can do that. That's what we do every single day. All you need to do is go to down in the description, you'll see a little form there. You can fill out the application form. We'll send you some information on how the program works and how we help you. And then from there, we'll see if it's a good fit, and we can talk about you enrolling into the program now or at a later term when it might be a bit of a better time for you. Take it easy. If you want, rewatch this video, maybe take some notes take some dot points and just put it on your wall, look at it every day and do the work. And you know, what you're going through is extremely hard and extremely difficult, and most people will probably never have to experience what you're going through. So take some compassion with you along the way as well. All the best for now. We'll speak to you soon. Bye.